Welcome to the 10th and final module of the nicotine cessation program. This is dealing with relapse. And relapse is a very important part of managing the tobacco cessation process because relapse is certainly a common issue. Tobacco dependence is considered a chronic relapsing condition due to nicotine's highly addictive nature. The average smoker needs to attempt to quit 6 to 10 times before they succeed. So relapse is a important part of this process. I like people to have a plan B as part of their strategy. We'll talk about some plan Bs. And I find that the key to success here is learning how to fail. That we all try things, but learning how to deal with those failures is important. In fact, I talk about the cycle of failure and the cycle of success. And the cycle of failure is a quit attempt is made and the person uses tobacco again. They then, beat themselves up, make themselves feel bad. And when they're feeling bad, they're going to seek relief of feeling bad. And what they seek relief in is smoking a cigarette. So it becomes a cycle of smoking and feeling bad and wanting to try to feel better and smoking and feeling bad again, and that is a cycle that smokers need to get out of. So the cycle of success is a quit attempt is made and tobacco is used somewhere along the process, and the individual then learns about what happened that made them relapse, what made them smoke that cigarette, what made them use again. And then identify strategies to make changes so that they don't face that issue again, or they have a better way of dealing with it besides lighting up and then quitting all over again. And as long as the individual remains in that cycle, they will eventually succeed at quitting smoking. So dealing with relapse it requires support, that your support as their support coach, as well as the support of the friends and family and other members around them, become important in navigating through that relapse. As a support coach, you want to recognize that individual's effort to quit smoking and congratulate them on their efforts. You want to investigate what are the circumstances that led up to that relapse. What is it that they did that could be done differently? How could they navigate through that differently the next time? And then reestablish the commitment to quitting tobacco. And that becomes an important part of this. Next step is to identify what is the strategy moving forward. Was the method the problem? Was this not the right tobacco cessation method? If they use the gum, should they use the lozenge, or should they use the patch, or do they need a prescription item? So if the method is an issue, then you should establish a new method. But sometimes it's the situation, and the method is unfairly blamed as the reason for relapse, that the method didn't really work. But just a difficult situation arose, a difficult situation that they couldn't cope with without smoking. And in that case, unless the situation is going to be a recurrent situation, then it can be thought of as an isolated event. And you want to work with them to develop a strategy and how they would get through a similar event, but also perhaps stay with the same smoking cessation method or tobacco cessation method that was used. You want to make sure they use support. Support is a key component of success. Many individuals, when they reuse tobacco, have feelings of shame or guilt or failure, and they avoid their support. And this is when they need support more than ever, and your role as a support coach is key. The support is needed at times of struggle, not at times of success. As I said, recognize the effort. A patient often overlooks their successes. I remember one individual who was smoking 3 packs a day. And he quit smoking, or tried to quit smoking, but on his quit date he smoked 2 cigarettes and felt that he was a failure. And what we pointed out to him was not the 2 cigarettes that he smoked, but the 58 cigarettes that he didn't smoke. So every day, every effort is a learning experience, and that success comes from learning from each of those efforts. Um, so circumstances that led to the relapse, who were they with? What were they doing at the time? Were they maybe feeling deprived? Feelings of deprivation are often a big trigger for relapse, and you want people to be focused on the reasons why they don't want to smoke and not why they do want to smoke. Uh, Sometimes the triggers can be overwhelming, and it's key to work with them to deal with that. So work, home, was it a conflict? Was it a celebration? Sometimes it's good times that cause people to relapse. Do they miss smoking? Some people feel like they've lost their best friend when they quit smoking. And that's a tough one to deal with. It takes a high level of commitment to overcome that sensation. But also maybe some re-education on why smoking isn't their best friend and is their enemy. Sometimes the effort is a conscious effort, sometimes it's a subconscious effort. Many people smoke on an automatic basis, not even realizing that they put a cigarette in their mouth and lit it up because they were busy doing something else and they always smoked with that activity. And next thing you know, they had a cigarette in their mouth. As I said, was the quit method working for them? Were they having symptoms of nicotine withdrawal? Maybe there wasn't enough nicotine in the nicotine replacement choice, so they need a different dose, or they need a combination of products in order to succeed. And was the situation the primary reason? Many times a method, as I said, is reviewed as ineffective, but when really it was just a one-time situation that triggered the smoking. When they reestablish that commitment, you want to find out, are they ready to quit again? Because quitting smoking really is a journey. It's not an event, and it's fraught with ups and downs and different battles. Relapse is really part of the learning process, and if you make it and look at it as just part of the process for quitting smoking, it can help get you to the key to help get you to success. We want to avoid having individuals judging themselves, and people can be particularly harsh on themselves. That this is part of the process, that they should expect this to happen and learn how to deal with it. Identify whether it really was just a relapse or was it just a lapse. Sometimes just one cigarette is really not a relapse, it is just a lapse, and looking at it as such and not looking at it as, oh, I can't do this anymore, is important. What do they learn from it? And they can move forward with either a new strategy or stay with the same strategy if it was really working for them. If it's a new method, they may need to go back to their healthcare professional to identify a prescription method for quitting smoking. If it's a situational problem, you want to develop a strategy to cope with the situation. But in summary, relapse is common. You want to make sure that somebody has a plan B and how to deal with relapse. And overcoming relapse is a key component of success. I'd like to thank you for participating in this program. This program is intended to help give you the tools to succeed with smoking cessation, guiding somebody through that smoking cessation process. But really, this is just the beginning. Thank you for your participation.